sunny San Diego. I have my tourist cap, sunglasses, standing in front of the Hyatt here in sunny San Diego. I'm flying back to New York today, but I figured I had a little bit of time before my flight left, which is around noon today, San Diego time. And I figured I would reach out to you and talk to you guys about something that something that I knew, but I needed to go force myself to do it, to realize, and that's you can't do business by sitting on your ass, and sometimes you need to get out. Now, for me, I'm in Manhattan. Everything I do is in Manhattan. And so it's very easy, and considering, a lot of what I do is social media, it's, BB is a social media platform. I'm an influencer, and so it's very easy for me to do a lot of my work just sitting at my desk or even just being in Manhattan. So this weekend, I've been here since Wednesday, is a conference. It's called Dad 2.0. A lot of you have seen me post about it. And it's a conference that's only touches part of what I do. I have a big personal brand. My personal brand is about social media. It's about BB, the great social media network, branding platform that I run. It's about my photography. It's about all sorts of stuff like that. And so I don't focus a lot, even though I've written a lot of articles. You go on my website, sweetwood.com. You'll see there's a lot of articles on fatherhood and parenting. And, you all know my single dad story. But there was a conference this weekend for dads. There was about 500 dads here. And we got together. The dads are mostly bloggers and writers. And we got together and we talked about the business of talking about being a dad. Now, a lot of these people I interact with on social media. So it's very tempting to just say, I come out to the conference. Now, they did ask me to speak out here, but it wasn't a paid speaking engagement. So I had to come out at my own expense, and I had to take off from work. And believe me, I'm really busy at work. Actually, I'm going to walk around a little bit because part of what I'm going to do is walk around. But I'll let you guys, particularly back in New York, see the palm trees up there. Maybe I'll take my sunglasses off so you guys can see me. All right, so I'm going to go for a walk because I need to take a little bit of a walk this morning. So it would have been easy for me to just, stay where I am. I can communicate with a bunch of these people and not come here. But coming here really was, it was an invigorating experience for me. And this is the lesson that I want to tell everybody out there, is that sometimes you absolutely need to get out and actually meet people face to face. Now, one of the things, before I actually get to what I accomplished here, your emotional state. So you don't even realize it sometimes when you stay in one place. And, obviously we go on vacations to rejuvenate ourselves, but sometimes a business trip can be rejuvenating too, particularly for dudes like me. I work very hard, I work all the time, and sometimes when you come to a different location, it changes your perspective. And for me, that's what it really did. It got me out of my routine. It got me here. Of course, it's very easy to say that, I guess, when you have, palm trees over your head and you're enjoying the really good weather and it snowed back in the city and all of that stuff. I'm going to turn like this so the sun isn't on you. And obviously the location is very helpful, but really it's just getting out and changing your perspective. And I wrote an article, you can actually see it. I wrote it, it was on Entrepreneur. It's also on my website. And I talk about taking an extra vacation day or two before or after a business trip. And this time I actually did that. I came out early, because it's San Diego, of course, and I planned on spending a day. And actually something good happened to me out of that. I ended up with a TV segment here on San Diego TV where I talked about single fatherhood, and I talked about the conference and all sorts of stuff like that. So it ended up well, and I spent the day, and actually the weather here hasn't been too spectacular. The first day down by the waterfront, I took lots of pictures, I had a really good time, sort of refreshed my mind, and then the conference started. And like I said before, writing about single fatherhood and writing about being a dad and parenting and those things. It's just one of the things that I do. So for me to come here and just focus on that, it actually ended up being a really good thing because it renewed my enthusiasm for that. Okay, sorry about that. Sorry about that. Apparently we have a little bit of a weak connection here. You know, Facebook Live doesn't stream well, even though I have a lot of service. So anyway, it renewed my dedication to what I'm doing. I've written 20 or 30 articles on fatherhood. They're on my website. Like I said, go to msweetwood.com. I've done lots of videos. I've done lots of life lessons for parents and for people in general. And it really gave me the strength again to go do that. I have a book coming out, which is called A Man Up. And that book, needs to be promoted, and I need to build on that. And then interacting with the other dads and seeing the other dads talk has been really good for me. Like I said, it really built my enthusiasm again. It got me focused. On top of that, I met people here that you just wouldn't necessarily come across in social media. And I got lots of really good ideas. I mean, it's a learning conference. I mean, I spoke. I taught a lot of people here about things that I know. But I got some really interesting tips or interesting angles on what to do with my business. And so it's been a really invigorating experience. And it reminded me that I have to do that more. And I was actually thinking back to even when I'm in the city. You know, for those of us that, and I know I have a lot of people who listen who are actually in the city, you know, there's like networking events all the time. And it's one of those things when you have a networking event, you know, you have to get out and you go and it's like kind of a pain in the neck. But sometimes it's really worthwhile going to interact. And now I'm running a social media network that's about online networking, and I've written an article about how powerful online networking is. But every once in a while, you do need to go out and you do need to meet people in person. And like I said, I walked away with so many good ideas from this conference, a renewed enthusiasm, and sort of refreshed. Not because I sat on the beach. The conference actually was pretty hard work. I mean, you have seminars one after the other. You have speakers. You're continually talking to people. In fact, I crashed every night I was here. And so it's not like a physical rest, but it's an emotional and it's a spiritual kind of rest. And as a result, what I think you want to do is you want to just sort of force yourself to do that. So I recommend everybody out there, go to a conference. You know, I remember actually I participated many years in the CMO Club. That's for Chief Marketing Officers. Fantastic organization. It has many, if not most, of the top CMOs in the country. And we used to have these summits. They still do them. And the summits were just really invigorating to see other people's perspective, to see so many successful people networking and talking to each other. You always walked away from those. I actually miss going to those. So I think that getting out there and sort of, even if you force yourself to go to a conference which isn't directly on target, even if you do that, it's something that's really going to be beneficial for you. And so even though I gave up, I don't know, 4 or 5 days of like doing the multitasking stuff that I do, I think that in the end, this conference is going to be enormously beneficial. I mean, I walked away with specific action items. I have, a few things that are going to help me with my influencer marketing. I have a big following on social media, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and so on, and really how to actually utilize that to promote my book when it comes out. And like I said, I've been my enthusiasm has been renewed in the daddy blogging space. And in some ways, I've actually see where that business is going to go for me now, because I got to see so many different people who are doing it. And so from that perspective, this conference was really, I would say, almost transformational for me. The Dad 2 Summit is kind of funny. You think you're going to go to a conference of dads and, what kind of business is going to be there. But it really ended up being very beneficial. So like I said, what I'd like you guys to do is everybody out there should go find a conference. Even if it's local, you don't have to, it doesn't, better like in Hawaii or something like that, but find a conference, go to it, and interact with people. It's really, transformational. And I know it was really transformational for me. And actually, I'm really lucky enough right now. I have about an hour before my flight, so I'm going to take a little bit of a walk out here. That's what I've been doing with all of you. Excuse the road noise, but we're actually walking over the highway now. This is a cute little walk. What I actually find funny about San Diego, or actually where I am right now, is that it looks a whole lot like New Jersey with palm trees. What can I say? I mean, that looks like like Route 78 in New Jersey. Though I guess we don't really have like a Mormon monolithic church like you have over there. That's kind of a cool structure, actually. I don't know if it's cool or it's actually scary. But in any event, I'm walking up to, here, I'll turn around, I'm walking up to a AMC theater and a shopping mall, but I'm just putting some steps on. So, I'm going to conclude by saying, you guys, everybody get out there, go to networking events, network online, of course, that should be your primary function. That is the way to touch the most amount of people. Like I said, you can check out an article I wrote about that. But every once in a while, a conference, even if it's not on something that is particularly your number one priority, is going to be a really good thing for you. You're going to get ideas, you're going to get inspired, and you're going to get professionally refreshed, which is really a very important thing. I know I'm going to get on that plane. I'm already thinking of a couple of articles I'm going to write. I'm going to work on the plane coming back, and I'm going to hit the ground running and be ready to go. So everybody, enjoy your Sunday. Not all of you have, palm trees and sun over your shoulder, but in any event, make it the best day you can, and we'll see you soon.
Sorry, guys. And sits down in between.
Wait, before I go, a bunch of dads. They took the walk too. Anyway, enjoy your Sunday.